What's up, everybody? We're back with our third edition of Rod Battles here at Omnia Fishing. We are going to bend some flipping sticks. Now, I know that's a pretty general term, flipping. There's a whole bunch of different techniques associated with the overall term flipping. Could mean a lot of different things. Flipping a jig, flipping a Texas rig. There's a lot of different, offshore ones, big, deep, thick vegetation, like punching type flipping sticks. There's all sorts of different stuff like that. A lot of argument to that, but this is requested by our consumer base. They wanted to see kind of three most popular flipping sticks. So we take this data that we collect, whether it's via our fishing reports, our surveying we do, and sales data, and this is one of our three most popular flipping sticks, this one being the Dobbins Fury. The Dobbins Fury 765 to be exact, the 765 flip. So this one here is a medium heavy power, but a fast action. I'm excited to bend this one because this rod comes in at an extremely affordable price tag. This rod here is one of our most popular rods we sell, period, for this technique. So I'm not familiar with it. I don't own this rod. I do own a couple Dobbins rods, but I do not have this one. So I'm interested to see what the action's like on this Dobbins Fury. Let's go bend it. All right, so here we are with the Dobbins contender in the fight. This one's the Dobbins Fury 765. As I stated before, this is a medium heavy power rod with a fast flip action, they call it. They actually put flip in the action there. So I'm guessing Gary Dobbins and his team, with all their experience, decided this is the perfect action for a flipping rod. Let's give it a bend here. We load it up and it's exactly what it says. In fact, it's certainly a fast action. I'll give it a little bit of action here, just a little bit of a, yeah, it's fast. It's got a lot more power than I thought it was gonna have. This thing is extremely light and balanced for its price point. That's really not part of the bend thing here, I know, but I just have to point that out. I was picturing this as I was holding it in the first part of our video here, that this was gonna be a lot softer rod than this. This is a real flipping stick. This is a lot stiffer than my, a lot more powerful than I have some higher end versions and families in the Dobbins rods in the same exact model, actually. Big surprise here on this one. This would be an extremely versatile flipping stick. You could run some big straight braid on this thing or some big fluoro. It's not too stiff. I mean, if you really load it up and power it up, it bends down far enough that you could even do some of the, I know it's controversial, but the line to leader flipping stuff we do up here in Minnesota a lot. Really cool rod. I'm very impressed. The action is exactly what was stated. This is truly a flipping stick. So kudos to Dobbins so far, at least from my experience. This is what you want to see in a flipping stick a lot of times, is a lot of power right away as soon as you go to set the hook. With a Texas rig bait or a jig, you want to be getting that hook in that fish right away. But I want to have enough power in this rod that when I get him to the side of the boat, if I'm going to be as dangerous as to do a boat flip or really pull on that fish as hard as I can to get him out of cover, we're using a lot of the rod to fight the fish, not just the tip of the rod. So kudos to Dobbins. This is a cool rod. Very impressed with the Dobbins Fury 765 flipping rod. Here I am with another contender in our flipping rod battle here at Omnia Fishing. This one is the Shimano Zodius 7.5 heavy fast action. Now, obviously, the Shimano Zodius rods are very popular, not just because of their price point. They're very good, very affordable price point line of rods, but their actions are touted amongst the industry. A lot of my friends who are even not Shimano purists, all will give these rods their flowers. If you're looking for a value in your rods, it's really hard to beat these in a lot of their actions and powers. Very impressed with their monocoque handles on the back of the Zodius series of rods. They do have a lot of sensitivity for being in their price points, and their actions are true to form. Shimano's done a really good job matching up their descriptions with the actual actions on the rods, which, believe it or not, it's not super common. I think that's why a lot of you would even watch a video like this. So I'm excited to bend this thing and see what Shimano's 7.5 flipping stick is. This has been reported to us by a lot of our customers as one of the best flipping sticks on the market. Check out the Zodius 7.5 Heavy Fast. All right, as promised, I'm here to bend the 7.5 Heavy Fast Action Zodius rod. Once again, this data was brought to us that this was one of our most popular flipping rods, not just by sales, which I can promise you that's probably a big factor in why this rod's there, We sell a lot of this rod for this technique, but our consumers have reported back to us that this is a desirable flipping stick. This is one of the best ones in the market. So as I'm gonna do here, load this sucker up, and we're gonna see that just as stated, this is a fast action rod. It is rated as a heavy power, and I will say it's not as heavy as the rod I bent previous to this. That was a Dobbins Fury medium heavy. Power's a little less than that. Honestly though, I would still rate this as a heavy, just from my experience. It's got lots of power. As you can see, if I stop fulcruming the rod by pushing down in the back or using my body to kind of load the rod up the way I would if I was fishing, if I just use my, if I just use my wrist to try and load this thing up, I want you to see that there. Look how powerful this rod is. It's just that top, the fast action of the rod. So I'm getting a hook set, I'm getting penetration with the hook immediately when I go to set the hook with this rod. Very impressive. That's what you want in a flipping stick a lot of times, is that fast action to get that hook driven home. There are arguments against that. That's why we're bending some of these, but this would, in my opinion, be a fast action, heavy power rod. Interestingly enough though, this is not as powerful as the Dobbins rod that was rated as a medium heavy. This rod actually has a little bit more forgiveness than that rod does. So this rod, for any of you that are braid to leader flippers, I know that's controversial, but it is happening and more people are adopting to that year after year. I do it myself. I know it's weird, but I do like it myself. I like the fact that this is more on the lighter side of a heavy power rod. I still would hinge it as a heavy power though, because I'm telling you right now, might be hard to translate across the camera there, but it's taken a lot to get this rod to bend to here. This is truly a flipping stick, and it is a very versatile flipping stick, and I'm very impressed with it. If you're in the market for a flipping stick, you definitely want to look at this heavy power fast action Shimano Zodius. Back with our third contestant in our flipping stick contest, and this one was a major surprise to me. This is the Falcon Cara Amistad Extra Heavy flipping stick from Falcon Rods. We just put Falcon in last year towards the end of the year. We just got the Falcon rods on. We've been asked for them for a while, but we hadn't had the room in in the speed of our expansion, and we're still a newer retailer. So warehouse space and all that plays a big factor in a lot of our decision making. But we knew, and we had identified Falcon early as something we would get at some point. When we got them in, we have had a hard time keeping this particular model and several other Falcon models in stock. Obviously, you think geographically with Falcon, with Lake Falcon down in Texas, or just the whole Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas area being super popular for Falcon rods. Mike McClellan and Jason Christie. A lot of the faces of Falcon are very popular in that region of the country, and they do some flipping, they do for sure, but it's a little different than our grass flipping up here. Hence why I was a little surprised when I saw this rod's action and length, and that it was being requested as being promoted as one of our 3 most popular flipping sticks. This is a 7.3 extra heavy, extra fast action. So should be pretty interesting to bend this one and see how it stacks up against the other 2 rods, which were the very common action in flipping, or length I should say, in 7.6. We saw a medium heavy, we saw a heavy, now we're seeing an extra heavy and extra fast. Very interesting that this one this early has made itself in as a player in our flipping battle. So let's go bend the Falcon Cara Amistad Extra Heavy. Okay, I'm here now with that Cara Amistad Extra Heavy. So this is a flipping stick indicated by Jason Christie that this is one of his favorite flipping sticks. I know Mike McClellan has said this is one of his favorite rods. There's a lot of the Falcon pros that have touted this as a very special rod. I will tell you, I wasn't familiar with it. It's a newer rod series to us. I'm surprised that this fast, we have this much data back on it, that it's that popular of a flipping stick, but we do a lot of surveying in the part of the country where Falcon rods is really super popular. So that might be a big factor in why it made it into this trip, but odd that it's 7.3, so it's 3 inches shorter than a typical flipping stick that we would see it'd be popular anyway. It's an extra heavy power, which that's understandable, but typically you see that heavy power being about the most, and extra fast action. So let's give it a bend here. Full cork handle. Everybody who follows me at all knows that that makes me happy. But it is what's stated. It is extra heavy and it is extra fast. I know it's looking like it's bending in that fast portion, like that top third, but I'm going to tell you right now, I have to give it to it to get it there. This thing wants to set the hook when you think about setting the hook. You don't have to even move your wrist, it feels like you're gonna get them. If they bite it, they're probably starting to get the hook in their mouth. If you are looking for a fish mover, this is a very cool rod for you, and it is light and it is balanced with this reel on it anyway. This is just one of my personal reels that I have laying around here, so I threw it on here and it balances great and it feels super light. Looks like there's a ton of guides on this thing, but the action is exactly as stated. It is extra fast. I'll give it a hard hook set here. And you see, it does bend, you know, into the meat of the backbone of the rod when you really give it the beans and you put tons of pressure on it. So you could do some boat flipping with this thing and not be super worried about it, but it is stout. I mean, this is 20 plus fluoro at a minimum, in my opinion, or big braided line. Not so much a line to leader rod. This thing is stout and it is gonna pull on that knot pretty hard. You're gonna test your knot tying ability. Even though I'm a fan of that, if you're doing line to leader with this rod, you better tie good knots. This thing is the real deal when it comes to a flipping stick. So if you're looking for a very powerful flipping stick that's not super long, look no further. Check out this Falcon Cara Amistad Extra Heavy. Thank you so much for tuning into our rod battle. This edition was the flipping edition. We saw the Shimano rod do exactly what they always say. It was a heavy power, it was a fast action. We saw the Dobbins rod and the medium heavy fast action and do exactly what they said it would say. In fact, if I had a knock on that one, it felt actually heavier than a medium heavy power wise, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that rod is as light as a medium heavy. It feels in hand like a medium heavy till you go setting the hook with it. Very impressed with that Dobbins Fury rod. The Shimano does exactly what you expect Shimano to do, and that's do their job and do it right. So that Zodius is now no big surprise that it's in there. Big surprise for me was that Falcon Cara. Why was it even in this contest this early for us as a retailer? Anyway, I know the rod's been around for a while, but what is that thing? And I got to find a reason to use that thing. It feels like it's like a big fish rod, probably why they call it an Amistad. But you could do a lot of stuff with that rod and some seriously heavy cover without it being an 8-footer or a 7-11. And if you are somebody who looks for a flipping stick that doesn't want the long rods, so if you've got boat limitations or anything like that, you should check that rod out. I see now why it's so popular with some of our consumers in a certain consumer section in the southern part of the country, but man, that thing's cool. I got to find a reason to fish with that thing. So those were our 3 flipping sticks that we thought were a great value. You should check them out. Let us know what flipping sticks are missing in the comments and other battles you'd like to see with other techniques of rods. And if there's other ways you want to see us pick them, whether it be enthusiast price points, entry-level price points, different ways to head up some rods from different manufacturers. So as you saw, lots of different actions there from the manufacturers. Go pick which one works best for you.